views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Get ready to experience the truth. Welcome to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Truth Talk Radio is the hit show that will illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. Unleash your intuitive nature while Deb helps you stop looking outside yourself for value and happiness, break through patterns, and move into your authentic truth at lightning speed. Truth Talk Radio will leave you feeling lighter, help you live with more presence, passion, and clarity, and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Now here's your host, Deb Acker.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deb Acker, and you are listening to Truth Talk on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with me for the next hour as I help you experience the truth, nothing but the truth. Each week on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll have some of the most gifted, inspiring, and unique souls, speakers, and authors helping to move you into more light, love, and, of course, truth. And before we get started, I'd like to start out today's show with an intention. And my intention for today's show is that everyone that needs to hear this conversation hears it, and that you leave feeling expansive, inspired, lit up, and with new awarenesses for your health. And with that, I'd like to welcome today's guest, Fern Olivia Langham. Fern Olivia is renowned for Thyroid.Yoga, her artful approach to healing from chronic autoimmune and thyroid conditions, and through her own healing journey from Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, which is a chronic autoimmune condition. She became inspired to create plant-based therapeutics and birthed Ajai Alchemy. She teaches events, retreats, and teacher trainings worldwide to share the yogic technologies, meditation, breathwork, mantra, holistic health, and essential oil alchemy that has changed the lives of hundreds of clients that she has worked with. And so with that, I'd like to welcome Fern to the show. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, Deb. Thank you so much for that beautiful intro. Thank you. And it's such a pleasure to be here and to help guide and inspire so many listeners that are tuning in right now.
Yeah, no, I'm so grateful to have you here, and we're going to have such a beautiful conversation today. And so I want to hear, tell us, how did you get into this work? Tell us about your health journey.
Yeah, of course. So when I was about 16 years old, I was struggling with my weight, chronic weight, slow metabolism. I felt extremely depressed. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I felt really sluggish, and then I came down with mono the senior year of high school. And over the next decade, I just battled against my body and the horrible discomfort of congestion, puffiness, brain fog, constipation, food allergies, and severe stomach irritability. After every meal, I was feeling really sick, and I didn't know who I was. I was chronic. I was depressed a lot, but I didn't know why. My life was pretty good. And I just was traveling from doctor to doctor like a lost patient, completely disconnected from my body, just wanting so badly to be given any magical solution to it all, any Band-Aid, any quick fix. And then I was told I had hypothyroidism, meaning my thyroid was underactive, and that's why I was having all these uncomfortable feelings in my body. And so from there, I was given every type of thyroid medication in the book to mask the symptoms I was experiencing, rather than getting down and dirty with why I was feeling so awfully rotten in the first place. So at one point, I was just on so much medication that I still felt like a zombie, and the doctors were told me I would just always have these symptoms and just have to deal with them, which wasn't okay for me. I knew that there was a greater meaning to all of it. I didn't know why, but I knew that there had to be something that was up. And I studied biomedical engineering in college. I got my degree in medicine, and I was just so fed up with the Western approach to medicine that I went into finance, and I was working in an investment bank. And every day I was just popping Zyrtec and popping Excedrin to deal with the migraines, and taking Pepto for the food allergies, and, Gas-X and all of these things. But I intuitively knew that something wasn't right, and that there was something that I wasn't following my purpose or my path, and I didn't know what that was. And ultimately, one day I just hit rock bottom, I fell. I, was trying to get home, and one day in the subway, I literally fainted. And that's not a fun place to faint.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting. I was throwing up. It was just one of those days where I literally just didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go to. Doctors, again, were just saying, okay, you have this thyroid condition. You need to take this medicine. You need to do this. This is normal. And I was like, how can this be normal? This isn't normal. So once I, got home, took care of myself, I started going to yoga classes. And yoga was showing me that instead of shutting my body out with all of these magic pills, I needed to listen to my own inner healer, my own inner voice that was screaming at me to wake up and to really become, mindful about the choices I was making, the food I was feeding myself. I was microwaving chicken and instant soup in the microwave at lunch rather than feeding it real nourishment. I was, binge drinking to shut out all of the stress I had with work. And yoga was this whole new world to me, where on my yoga mat, I was listening to my body, and I began to really see a difference on how I was feeling. And I would become clear-headed, safe. I felt comforted. I felt loved. All of these feelings I had been lacking in my life, and I was trying to numb it out with all these other things. And the practice allowed me to connect with myself and find spirituality in, a place where I would have never guessed. So, yeah.
It's quite a journey. So, so you're doing yoga, and then what happened from there?
Yeah, so this very particular teacher took me under her wing, and she was living the life that I wanted to see for myself. She was health and life coaching. She was helping people live a life aligned with how they wanted to live. And what she was doing captivated me, and I wanted to embody this as well. So I was, in finance. I was working in an investment bank and working 10 to 14 hours a day, working nights, working weekends. And I said, all right, this is not how I don't want to see myself. I tried to imagine myself 30, 40 as a corporate, whatever, and wearing pantsuits. And, this is not appealing to me. I could never raise a family in this world and, live in this sort of lifestyle. Yuck. I did not want that. So I was thinking to myself, how do I do anything different? Where would I go? And I was so magnetically drawn to yoga and this teacher that I did my teacher training under her. And I saw how easy and possible it was that I could make this switch into my life. I just had to do what I knew in my heart I was meant to do, and that was to heal people. So I quit my corporate job so I did my teacher training. I began teaching immediately because I knew that it was coming so natural to me. I started my health coaching practice, and I started teaching people about their thyroid health, which was what I was going through. So I was able to talk about what had healed me and supported my health. And I had candida and PCOS and adrenal fatigue and food allergy. So all of this research in my own life, and I studied medicine. So I had this huge background. So I was able right off the bat to start helping people. And I knew I couldn't stop. I knew that this was serving my greatest purpose in this world. And it was a sin to say, oh my gosh, I don't know enough. I can't do this. I don't have this certification. I knew I had to really hit the ground running and helping people. And it was working. I mean, I had a wait list of clients very, very quickly. And I knew I had to quit my corporate job because that work was taking away from my helping people. So fast forward to 6 years later, and I've made it my full-time career as an entrepreneur to empower men and women to tap into their own inner healer and listen to their intuition and understand how, instead of listening to everyone else and getting quick fixes and magic pills, to actually allow your body to heal by your own intuitive wisdom. And that's the most fulfilling gift that I could have ever given myself and given the world.
Yeah, no, well, and it's interesting because I want to point out, because I've had that same sort of conversation in my head around you were saying, like, I can't, like, looking at your life, wherever your life is right now, and especially if you're not happy or satisfied with your life, and really recognizing it's like, I remember that one of the moments I had that thought, I was like 22 years old, so I was just out of college, and I was in advertising at the time, and I was watching all the people around me and the life that they were living, and with that, basically, I just had that thought. I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like, this is absolutely not something that I can do. And it's sort of those small little moments that can really, really impact and shift and change sort of the course, right? Because you begin to make new choices, you begin to make come to new conclusions and make different decisions around that. So we are going to take a quick break here. You're listening to Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. When we return, we are going to talk more with Fern Olivia, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
Calling all Intuits, healers, and readers, you are invited to the Women of Wisdom Fall Festival. Healing our planet, sharing our gifts. Join us as we celebrate the bounty of our Mother Earth on October 1st at North Seattle Community College. We're looking for a variety of practitioners and experts in the art of energy healings, intuitive readings, and bodywork. If you are a reader, healer, or artisan, we invite you to share your gifts with the Women of Wisdom community. Go to womenofwisdom.org to apply.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthисfunny.com.
Have you felt a lot of fear and self-doubt in your life where you feel like you never know what's right for you? As a result, maybe you've made yourself invisible or haven't fully put yourself out there. Hi, my name is Deb Acker. In addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including stepping into your power to be confident and visible in your relationships and the world. Did you know fear, self-doubt, feeling invisible, and not feeling comfortable to put yourself out there are all linked to not being in your power? What if you could always feel powerful and on purpose at all times? I used to spend a lot of time hiding in fear and self-doubt. Now I'm not afraid to put myself out there on a bigger scale, and most importantly, I know what's right for me in every moment, and I take action accordingly. On the other side, I now help others with this, and if you're ready to be powerful and confident and let go of the fear that holds you back from a bigger life, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, DeborahAcker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
1230 WBLQ.
We're back on Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. My guest today is Fern Olivia Lingham, and we are talking about thyroid yoga, about health, about attuned beauty. And before we continue, Fern Olivia, can you give everyone your contact info?
Oh, absolutely. So my email is Fern, Fern, at FernOlivia.com. And you can find me on Instagram at Fern Olivia. And Facebook is under Fern Olivia as well.
Awesome. And I know, too, you have a couple of special offers for our audience. Do you care to share any of those? I've got them up as well on our listener page on my website at DeborahAcker.com. But do you want to tell us about those?
Yes, absolutely. And if I miss anything that you have in front of you, you can fill it in for me. But definitely a guided audio meditation for your thyroid, how to support your thyroid through meditation. And then also I have my teacher training program that's coming up at Rama in Venice in Los Angeles. It's on November 3rd through 6th. It is also available globally via live stream as well. So I'm also offering a discount just for the listeners on the show. So that will be a $200 discount on the live training and then $100 on the virtual training. So if you are interested, you can head over to my website, Thyroid.Yoga. There's no .com. It's just Thyroid.Yoga. And you'll be able to see the teacher training. And also for anyone that has a thyroid condition or just wants to understand how to heal their body. You don't have to be a teacher. You don't have to be a healer. You just have to have the desire to use these practices of yoga, meditation, nutrition, holistic health, spirituality, to learn how to feel better and live a happier life. So that $100 discount for virtual anywhere in the world that you are, or live in person in Venice in Los Angeles, will be available under the discount code Truth Talk. So if you put that in or just email me with any questions you have, we'll get you all set up, and I'd be happy to meet you and really excited to guide you on your journey. So anything else that I missed, Deb?
No, you're all, that's all good. All good. So I know before the break, we were talking about your journey with your thyroid, and tell us about, so you created like this really specialized type of yoga. And I thought it was interesting because actually this weekend I was in Wisconsin and two people I know were talking. One person had thyroid cancer when she was really young. Another person was talking about some thyroid issues. So I thought it was really, really interesting. And I hadn't fully realized how prevalent that is. And so tell us about your vision for this and how you created thyroid yoga.
Yeah, so we are constantly told that we are broken or that something is missing or that we need drugs. We're constantly bombarded with those messages that, that there's something outside of us, right? And so we're constantly looking and looking and looking outside ourselves for these answers. When I began to look inside, I became more and more intuitive, and I began to finally notice huge shifts in my life. So yoga, as I mentioned earlier, was the catalyst for me. And as I've been experimenting with so many different healing modalities, I've learned how to feel finally really good in my body again. And I've worked with hundreds of clients over the past 6 years and have been shocked at how fast these practices really work and how doctors often completely overlook these tools. They completely, don't even give any lifestyle besides, don't be as stressed or get more sleep. There's really not a whole lot that doctors are helping in this space. So what I've done is I've cross-pollinated ancient yogic wisdom and healing practices to create something refreshingly new and refined with rich substance and deep history. I mean, the yogic practices have been used for thousands of years. And finally, science is catching up and saying, oh my gosh, meditation works, yoga works. The truth is, though, that what type of yoga, what type of meditation, and what I've done with thyroid yoga is put together the practices and the tools that work really fast. And that I created this method about 4 years ago, and it's been life-changing so many people on such a fast scale. And what thyroid yoga does is that we help you to discover how to unveil all of this stuff that's holding you back, all of the internal, even the emotional, the emotional triggers of what's creating an imbalance in your body. A lot of times with a thyroid condition, a lot of women don't realize that they've had this fear of speaking up. They've had this fear of being heard, of being authentically who they are. And over time, these blockages manifest into a physical condition. It's like when you have a lot of stress and you have a lot of fear, it manifests as an ulcer, for example, or stomach pain, or, this like butterfly in the stomach. It's the same thing with the thyroid. And we really look deep within to uncover all of the trauma, all of the pain, all of the stuff that might have gone on from early in childhood and beyond that. And we do this through yoga, through meditation, through Ayurveda, which is a type of nutrition and lifestyle practice. It's ancient. There's just so much wisdom deep, deep, deep down. And there's practices. We're going to look into sexuality, Satnam Rasayan healing, which is an ancient healing method, shamanic healing, astrology. We're going to talk to doctors on the Western and Eastern perspectives on thyroid disease and healing, so you get both sides of the spectrum and understand how to create a healing practice specifically for what you're going through. And if you're a teacher and a healer or aspiring teacher and healer, you're able to use these, the wisdom that we go through in this training with thyroid yoga to create a foundation for expansion and prosperity using your own authentic voice. So you don't have to be a healer and a spiritual teacher and live a life that's not wealthy or sustaining. We want you to be sustained and to live a life that's comfortable and that feels good, so you can really do your work in the world and thrive. So that's what I'm teaching, and I'm thrilled. It's a one-of-a-kind teacher training experience for teachers and healers, and that's happening in November 3rd through 6th. And it's also globally available on live stream as well. And that's what I mentioned. We have a discount for the Truth Talk listeners as well. So I'm really excited. I've put my whole heart and soul into this training, and we have so many amazing teachers that are going to be guest presenting as well. And it's going to be a safe and supportive forum. And whether you're attending live or virtually, it's just going to be next level. It's going to be something that hasn't been offered anywhere in the world. And I'm the first to be doing it. And it's really exciting. It's going to be changing lives.
Oh, that sounds really, really beautiful. Well, and I want to ask you, because I know, like, for instance, I've studied a lot of health stuff and all the messages that our body has for us. Specifically, like, so for instance, I know, like, many times when you have back pain, that represents not feeling supported. With the thyroid, is there obviously there can be several messages around that, but are there some common messages with that you see specifically related to your thyroid?
Yeah. So you were saying in terms of imbalances?
Yeah, basically, like when you're having issues with your thyroid, what are some typical messages that your body's trying to tell you?
Definitely. So simple. The first one is not that you're not being creative. You're not living your creative truth in the world in your most authentic way. So the thyroid is located in the 5th chakra in the energetic. There's all these chakras in the body. Are you familiar with the chakras? I'm sure everyone on the call, some people on the call may be new to the chakras, so I'll just go quickly. And the chakras are there's 7 main chakras. The 8th chakra is the energetic field around the body. They're places in your body where there's the energetic center. So the heart is a chakra, your solar plexus, which is in your navel, your throat is your thyroid. I can go and talk about the chakras forever, but
there's a lot of information. Yes.
For the purposes of right now, your throat chakra is the source, the energetic source of your creative power and your voice and your expression. It's expression. It's in your throat. It's where you're speaking. It's where you're narrating. It's where you're being heard. So are you telling your truth in the world? Are you being the true person that you were born to be? Are you living your creative pursuits? Are you feeling understood? Are you able to communicate? All of these things. So if you feel like any of these things are stuck for you, it could be that your thyroid's out of balance. It's manifested into actually a physical condition because for so long you've felt unable to express yourself. So that's just something that's, a little esoteric that a lot of times, that connection's never been made. The Western medical field isn't really relating the energetic body to, the symptoms that we're experiencing right now. But the truth is, when we look there and we really go deep, we're able to see a connection. And from there, we're able to heal some of those energetic patterns and those habitual tendencies that we've had and able to heal on a deeper level.
Yeah, no, that's really, really cool. Well, and so before we go to break too, so we're talking about the thyroid and really those messages that our body has. In terms of somebody who so in terms of, and the title of the show is really Attuned Beauty and the thyroid. So how are those two related?
Absolutely. Okay. So real quick with that, because I know we'll come back to it right after the break.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Attuned Beauty is all about what are you doing every day to take care of yourself. Beauty isn't just what your outer appearance looks like. It's how do you feel in the morning. I think that beauty is beyond the external environment. It means to me the food I nourish myself with, the sensual alchemy that kisses my skin, the gorgeous friends I choose to enjoy time with, the sacred home that I've created, the healing experiences, the retreats that I treat myself lavishly with every day. Beauty for me is taking care of myself in the most loving and kind-hearted way. And I know that I have a big purpose on this planet. I know that everyone here listening has a big purpose on this planet. And we need to feel our best to give our best. So we know, right, that when we take care of ourselves, we feel glowing. People spot us from a mile away. When we don't take care of ourselves, we get sick. We feel depressed. We are really stressed out when we don't take care of ourselves. So what I did with Attuned Beauty and with my alchemy, with Ajai Alchemy, which is the beauty brand that I created, it's infusing all of the products that I create with love, with a mantra, with affirmations. I chant sacred sound current and listen to healing music when I create it. And
I want to hear more about that. We have to take a break here, but I want to hear more about that when we come back. So we're going to talk more about that when we come back. And you are listening to Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
Are you anxious, worried, or insecure? Hi, I'm Dr. Friedman Schaub. I'm the author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution. Join me for my next breakthrough video seminar, which starts on September 10th. This program has helped thousands of people worldwide to overcome their struggles with anxiety, and I'm certain it can also help you. If you're ready to be free again and have a stronger foundation of inner peace and confidence, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Are you feeling stagnant or blocked in your love life, career, health, or finances? Experiencing difficulty focusing or setting and achieving goals? Tune in to Spiritual Diagnostics Radio with psychic visionary healers Carol Dorian and Suzanne Evans. Discover the cause and effect of unwanted patterns in life. Tune in every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit spiritualdeed.com.
There are so many resources out there for meditation. But did you know that Atana's Heart Earth Healing Meditation is available for you for free? Yes, that's right. You can receive this free healing meditation today from Atana Badili. All you need to do is visit his website, atanamethod.com. That's ATAANA method.com and sign up. You will receive your free meditation instantly. That's AtanaMethod.com.
We're back on Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. My guest today is Fern Olivia Lingham, and we are talking about Attuned Beauty. And before we left, we were talking really. You were talking to us more about what Attuned Beauty means and why it matters. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, my beauty ritual and my stance on what beauty is it's everything you do to nourish yourself. It's how lavishly you treat yourself every day. And, there's this fear that many people have about, taking care of themselves. They say, I can take care of everyone else and spend money on the car and the gas and, all of this stuff. Yet, why buy the more expensive organic food or, the beauty products or the retreats? You have to take care of you before you can put the emergency, face mask on somebody else. How are you taking care of yourself? How are you treating yourself with respect? Because when you do that, when you attune your own beauty and you do the next level care for yourself, everyone around you can feel it, and you're going to start attracting more health in your life, more beautiful relationships in your life, the career you want, all of those things, because you're going to be operating on that level. So that's what I truly believe, and I've seen in hundreds of people that I've worked with. So that's why I created Ajai Alchemy. That's why I created Thyroid.Yoga. And I'm really, really excited to share all of these practices that I made rituals for myself and share them with the world.
Yeah, so tell us more about this, about Ajai Alchemy and really how you created that, like all of the pieces of it.
Absolutely. So with Ajai Alchemy, what really makes this so different from, the products that you may be using is that they're all lovingly created by hand with the intention to activate your own brilliance, your own vibrancy, your own power. And when I make these products, I make them all in California with all organic essential oils. Everything is wildcrafted, therapeutic grade. So it all has the vibrancy and the potency for your greatest healing. It's all made from plants, and it's using nature's medicine cabinet, the most bioavailable elements on the planet, rather than attacking your body with harsh toxic chemicals or parabens or synthetics that are found in commercial products. And those synthetic ingredients are wreaking havoc on your hormones. So when I began on my own body to use the potent properties of plant-based essential oils, I noticed how they worked in harmony with my body synergistically and promoted accelerated healing and helped me to feel better. Just plain and simple, I was using this instead of perfumes and toxic chemicals that were igniting allergies. And in addition to the whole food, anti-inflammatory diet, infrared sauna, acupuncture, massage, yoga, all of these modalities I was using to take care of myself, all of this toxic residue that was in my life was cleaning up. And my beauty was, oh my gosh, I started glowing. The structure of my face changed. My eyes were brighter. My weight went to where I finally wanted it to be. Gasp. Like, it tends to be so hard for us women sometimes, but then how are we really deeply treating ourselves? And are we telling ourselves that we're worth it, that we're worth these retreats, that we're worth these teacher trainings, that we're worth the beauty that might be more expensive than the cheap stuff in the pharmacy? Like, what are we telling ourselves? How are we speaking to ourselves? So I learned that it's not just what we put in and on our bodies that alters how we look and function. It's all beginning with our mind and the thoughts and the stories that we attach to them. So with Ajai Alchemy, my whole mission is to give you luxurious self-care that feels really, really good when you put it on. So I have fragrances, I have face oils, I have body oils, I have a sun protectant that's all essential oils and base oils. There's no garbage in it that's going to give you any, reactions or toxic chemicals. And, it's good for the environment because I'm not using anything that's going to, go into the ocean and kill fish. Like, I don't want the environment to suffer when we're taking care of ourselves. So that's the whole basis of the product, and I love making it, and I have so much fun hearing of all the amazing stories from people that receive it and feel the love and feel the healing in it. So it's been my passion to do that.
Yeah, so you've mentioned so many things today, and you may not have them, but I want to ask the question, like, out of everything that you mentioned, is there, like, where would you start? Like, if you were just getting started here, what would be your recommendation of where someone can start?
Yeah, so the first thing is to start a daily practice, something that you do for yourself every day, non-negotiable. It doesn't matter whether you're traveling, whether you have a kid or a dog or a husband or whatever it is, you do that first. You do this for yourself first and foremost, every day, non-negotiable. You figure out what that thing is, and it can be so simple. It can be lighting sage and a candle in the morning and repeating an affirmation like, I am graceful or I am radiant. And that's your one daily thing that you do every day. And when you have a commitment that you can make to yourself, the world begins to show up for you. So if you're looking to attract a relationship with a loving partner that's going to be committed to you, and you can't commit to yourself every day, it's going to be really, really difficult for you to actually attract that. And I've learned that, and it's having this ability to hold yourself accountable with integrity to yourself. So for me, I do a daily practice of I swim every morning in the ocean. I don't care how cold the water is. I go in there and I plunge every single morning. It's great for your thyroid. It's one of my thyroid beauty rituals. If you don't have the ocean, taking a cold shower, it seems miserable, but it feels really good afterward, and you have an amazing surge of energy. So if that's not your thing and you're just like, no, I'm not doing that, do something. Do, a morning 5-minute meditation practice, or write down everything that you're grateful for rather than all the things you're worried about. So before you do your to-do list or your action list, you write down all the things you're grateful for and all of the things that you love about your life. And it puts things into perspective and puts you in a place of radiating beauty and harmony and taking care of yourself rather than, jumping at everyone else's needs and responding to all your work emails and, walking the dog and, taking care of the children and making sure your husband is happy and all of these things. How are you being you? So that commitment to yourself is one thing you can start today.
Yeah, well, and I know we talked about, and you kind of maybe went into it a little bit, but I know we talked about you were going to do like a 5-minute practice around what we can do every day. Do you want to walk our listeners through that?
Absolutely. So the first thing to do in the morning when you get out of bed is sit or stand. Let your feet hit the earth. If you're standing, and stand up and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Before a lot of times people have their phone right next to their bed and they scroll through Instagram. What I've done is I give myself a 12-hour fast, and that includes eating and it includes technology. So before I go to bed, about an hour or two before I go to bed, I stop eating, because binge eating is really tough. We go through a lot of emotions, and sometimes we gravitate towards food even if we're not hungry. So 2 hours before bed, I say I'm not eating anything and I'm going to shut off technology. And that means responding to work emails. I know that it's really, really hard to do that. And so I'm compassionate with myself if I do, work a little later or eat. So we can't be too hard on ourselves, right? But we try. So I try for that 12-hour fast, no food, no electronics, no work, no Instagram. I wake up in the morning, the phone is still off. I do my meditation practice. I stand on the earth. I close my eyes. I imagine light streaming up from my feet into my body, nourishing all of my organs. I start seeing that light circulating around reproductive organs, the stomach, the liver, up into the heart, the throat, the intuition, the crown of the head, the connection with my higher purpose. And I see this light just surrounding my entire body and giving me everything I need so I can, live my best life that day. And after that, I have some tea. I nourish myself. I really love full leaf herbal tea. I love beautiful things, right? So I date myself. I say, how am I going to make myself feel beautiful today? It's, not throwing a Lipton tea bag in a cup of hot water from the microwave. No, I'm going to take a gorgeous copper tea kettle that I have and boil hot water in that. And then, use my copper. I love copper. It's beautiful. It's one of those great energetic vibrations. I have a tea press, a copper tea press, and I have this beautiful full leaf tea that my friend makes, and I press the tea and then I sip it, and I either go and I sit. I live on the beach, so I sit here and I drink my tea. And if you don't live on the beach, just sitting it in silence away from the computer is a really sweet thing you can do for yourself, lighting a candle. So it's having this quiet time in the morning that you're not rushed. So if you need to wake up a little earlier than normal to do these things where you're not distracted, do that. And then after that, I have my sadhana, which is a daily yoga meditation practice. And I do a Thyroid.Yoga kriya. A kriya is a set. So I do a sequence that I created for my thyroid, to nourish my thyroid and my adrenals, and to give me energy, to prevent bloating, to help with my digestion. If you're interested in any of these things, you can, find me after. We'll talk about them. They're in my thyroid yoga training as well. So I have this daily practice that's anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how much time I have. And the cool thing about it too is I can teach you how to modify it to make it shorter or longer, depending on how much time you need and all of that. So anyway, I do that practice, and that is the game changer. I feel so energized after that, and I have my phone off at that time. So this is me time. This is total me time, and that's so important for you. And then I jump in the ocean. I go out to the beach and I go into the ocean. So if you don't have an ocean, go into the shower. I'm sure you have a shower. So it's it's like a lot of times we make excuses. I don't have this. I don't have that. You don't need a yoga mat. I do this on a sheepskin rug. You could do it on a towel. You could do it on a blanket. The great thing about the practices, the meditation and the yoga practices that I teach, anyone can do them. You don't have to be flexible. You don't have to touch your toes. There's, we give ourselves so many excuses. Oh, yoga's not for me, or this isn't for me, or I can't quiet my brain. I can't meditate. I do a lot of breathwork practices, a lot of chanting practices. And especially if you're not comfortable with your voice and singing, you got to start chanting, because the sound current of chanting will actually change your own energetic vibration, and you'll feel more powerful and you'll become stronger in your voice. So those are musts for me. I do that every morning. And then throughout the day, I come back to this mindfulness practice of how am I showing up moment to moment? Am I stressed? If I'm stressed and I yell at my assistant, or, all of these things, I take a deep breath and I say, how am I showing up? Is this in my highest good? Like, what's going on here? Where do I need to take a pause? And do I need to eat? Have I forgotten to eat? Or, what is it? Where am I showing up in my life? And we all have moments of stress. We all have moments where we don't feel good. But how do we bring ourselves back really quickly? That's the practice. It's using the meditation and the yoga practices to quickly bring ourselves back into balance and harmony and health.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, that practice you described, about how long does that take you?
It really depends. I mean, I have some mornings where I have a meeting and I've got to be quick, and I've slept in too late and I get everything done in 20 minutes. I run out to the beach, or I take a cold shower. I do this practice. I mean, if I really am hustling, I can get it done quickly. I just got to make sure I do it, because I know if I don't, throughout the whole day, I'll know that when I make, make a decision and I haven't really focused and, or I feel rushed or whatever it is, I know it's because I didn't do my practice. So at least 20 minutes I would dedicate. I can spend up to 2 hours. I have the luxury, and I'm an entrepreneur. I've made my schedule that I won't have meetings before 10:30 in the morning. So, but I understand that that's not the case for most people. So 20 minutes is great. If you can do 20 minutes for yourself of having your tea, sitting in silence, doing a meditation, taking a cold shower, whatever those things are for you that really resonate for you, journaling is a great one. Reading a book that's like a sweet book that makes you feel really uplifting. Doing these things are really going to change your life. Making a breakfast can count. All of these things are just nourishing yourself, where you're not with technology and you're not, out in the world just yet. You're just really enjoying some sacred time for you. And like I said before, if you don't give yourself this respect and telling yourself you're worthy, it's really hard for others to feel your worthiness too. You got to give yourself that respect. It's really important. I promise you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and I think it's important, like when, as you're talking about this process, you gave us so many different ideas, right? And obviously the title of the show is Truth Talk. And so it's just really important that no matter what it is, that each listener just figures out what feels right for them. And then, moves towards that, right? So if you're trying to do dance, say for instance, and you're not a dancer, don't dance. Find the thing that really gives you calm, that feels really good to you, that feels really good, the best way for you to move your body, the best way for you to really get centered and get present into your day. And if you miss it one day, don't be hard on yourself, right? It's just a matter of just getting back into that practice, into that process.
Yeah, if you miss a day, you know what? You do it the next day even more strongly. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. The biggest epidemic on our planet is guilt and shame. We shame ourselves so much. Oh, I didn't do this good enough, and I'm not perfect, and no one's asking you to be perfect. We just need you to show up and be you, and to take care of you the best way that you can. And there's a lot of hurt in the world, and we just don't want to contribute to the hurt. We want to be able to be the strongest and most beautiful version of ourselves, and we can get there by telling ourselves every day that we're worthy, looking into our own eyes in the mirror in the morning, and instead of looking at the flaws the first thing that we do, look in our eyes and say, I'm beautiful, I see you, I truly see you. And when we can tell ourselves that, everything changes. So
yeah, and I think that's so important. It's like, you mentioned about around contributing to the hurt in the world. It's like we are our first starting point, right? We are the first point of starting to send love out into the world and loving ourselves. And so the first and most important starting point is loving you and how you talk to you and how you communicate with yourself and how hard you are on yourself and how you choose to show up for yourself. So I love all of those. So we're going to, before we head into our our final segment here, I want tell us one more time about your contact info and your program.
Absolutely. So you can contact me at fernolivia.com. The website is fernolivia.com, and from there you can find both Thyroid.Yoga and Ajai Alchemy. And that's all of the Attuned Beauty that I do. Also, the Thyroid Yoga teacher training, you can find that at Thyroid.Yoga. There's no .com, it's just Thyroid.Yoga. And again, I'm offering for all of the listeners on Truth Talk $200 off your Thyroid Yoga training if that interests you. Anything about intuitive healing or using essential oils or yoga, meditation to support your health, your total health. The code is Truth Talk for that. $200 off live or $100 off virtual. And if you have any questions about any of that, and you don't know whether you're a right fit for the program or what it entails and you want to learn more, just send me a note, follow me on social media. I am constantly, sharing my wisdom and inspiration, and I would love to connect with you and hear your story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, too, for all of the Truth Talk listeners, Fern Olivia has a Thyroid Yoga guided meditation, and you can find the link to that at www.deborah.acker.com/truth-talk-radio/Fern-Olivia-Langham, which is Langham. And so in our final segment today, I want to do a energy clearing around some of the things that we talked about, right? Self-love is so important. It's really important that we're loving ourselves, that we're talking to ourselves nicely. And so for those of you guys who are new to energy clearing or new to Truth Talk, basically what I'm going to have you do, and actually it was cool that Fern Olivia had mentioned this even when she was talking about bringing light into the body, right? So what I'm going to have you do is close your eyes, and I will walk you through this step by step, but I'll have you close your eyes and you'll bring light into every place of your body, and then you'll bring light back up, and then I'm going to have you expand that light out 5 feet, 10 feet, all the way out to the entire universe. And connecting to the light is always the truth of who we are. It's the truth of who we came here to be. And it is the quickest way for us to shift. It is the quickest way for us to change. And then when I have you expand that light out and connect to the entire universe, again, that is the quickest way for us to return to our expansiveness, to for us to return to being an infinite being in a body. And it is the quickest way for us to return to the truth of who we are. And so once we've expanded out that light, what I will say is something like, everywhere you're not listening to your inner voice. And again, you want to just see that coming out of your body. And then I'll give you a positive alternative to breathe in, like truth, light, intuition, love. And so if there's another positive alternative that comes to mind, feel free to use that. And don't worry, again, I will walk you through this all step by step. So for everyone, go ahead and place your feet nice and flat on the floor. And if you are driving, do not close your eyes. If you're operating heavy machinery, do not close your eyes. But for everybody else, placing your feet nice and flat on the floor. And just start by taking a nice deep breath, just breathing in through your nose and filling your belly and the sides of the body, the chest and the legs with air. And just exhaling out nice and slow. And again, just breathing in through your nose and just filling your belly, the sides of the body, the chest and the legs with air. And just exhaling out nice and slow. And just connecting to the light that's 300 feet above your head. And we naturally do this when we pray. So just see, sense, or feel that light, whatever comes up for you naturally. And you're going to begin to bring this liquid light down into your forehead, down past your eyes, so that you can see the truth and see the truth of who you are and the truth of who you are meant to be. Bringing that liquid light down past your nose and past your ears, so you can really hear your truth and hear the truth of who you are and hear the truth of who you are meant to be. And then bring that liquid light down into your mouth and down into your throat, again, to really speak out your truth. And imagining this liquid light coming across your shoulders down past your heart, so you can really feel the truth of who you are and the truth of who you are meant to be. And bringing that liquid light down into your stomach, into your hips, so you can stand, ground in, and create the truth of who you are meant to be in this world. And bringing that liquid light down into your legs and out through your feet, so you can really move towards your truth and your complete and full truth and the truth of who you are and the truth of who you are meant to be. And connecting into the center of the earth that feels like mother's love. It's all ooey and gooey and warm and nurturing. And just allowing that liquid light to come back up through the feet, up through the legs, up through the torso, and up through the face. And again, just a liquid light shower just coming down, covering every crevice of the face, down the neck, across the shoulders, coming down the torso, down the hips, down the legs, and out through the feet, and back up through the feet, up through the legs, up through the torso, and up through the face. And expanding that light from above and below. Go ahead and expand that light into the room that you're in. And just allowing yourself to get open, expand, and breathe, and expanding that light out past the entire city that you're in, wherever you are. Just open, expanding, and breathing, and open, expanding, and breathing. And allowing that liquid light to expand out past the entire state or country you're in. Again, wherever you are located, just see that light covering the entire state, the entire country. And just seeing that light covering now the entire continent. So wherever you are located, just open, expanding, and breathing, and letting that light expand out past the entire continent. And now allowing that liquid light to come out past the entire world. So just super, super, super big, just open, expanding, and breathing, allowing any sort of contraction you have in your body to open up, allowing your body to get as big as possible, and just open, expanding, and breathing. And just allowing that liquid light to cover out past the entire universe, past all the planets, just open, expanding, and breathing, and open, expanding, and breathing, and open, expanding, and breathing. Good. And just everywhere you're not listening to that inner voice, just exhaling that out of your body and just breathing in light, breathing in truth, breathing in intuition, and breathing in love and breathing in self-love. So breathing in light, breathing in truth, breathing in intuition, breathing in love, and breathing in self-love. And everywhere you're not listening to your body in some way, just exhaling that out and breathing in being open, breathing in calm, and breathing in love, and breathing in self-love. And breathing in open, breathing in calm, breathing in love, breathing in peace, breathing in self-love. And everywhere you're looking outside of yourself in some way, just exhaling that out of your body and just breathing in truth, breathing in love, breathing in self-love. Again, just breathing in truth, breathing in openness, breathing in love, breathing in self-love, breathing in truth, breathing in openness, breathing in love, and breathing in self-love. And everywhere you're scared to be who you are and be your authentic self, just exhaling that out. And again, just breathing in truth, breathing in love, breathing in authenticity, breathing in you. And breathing in truth, breathing in love, breathing in authenticity, and breathing in you. And breathing in truth, breathing in love, breathing in light, breathing in authenticity, and breathing in you. And just feeling your body just coming back into the room, and just feeling your body in the chair. And just taking a nice deep inhale and exhale. And with that, I want to thank my guest today, Fern Olivia, for sharing such great information. And I want to thank you all for tuning into Truth Talk. I always love hearing from my audience. So if you have a comment on the show or would like to introduce yourself, you can send me a note on the contact page of my website at deboraacker.com. And there you can also sign up for my complimentary pattern identifying discovery session, as well as my free Living in Your Truth guide. And next week on Truth Talk, we'll have coach, writer, speaker, and energy healer Kate Eckman on the show. So in the meantime, I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to talking with you next time.
Thank you for listening to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Tune into Truth Talk Radio every Wednesday at 3 Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com and experience the truth of who you are and who you came here to be. Each week, Deb interviews an inspiring guest and illuminates the truth to a wide range of topics, including love, life, purpose, career, consciousness, and abundance. Welcome to the world of infinite possibilities. For more information about Deb, including how to contact or work with her, visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com. Look forward to seeing you next week for more Truth Talk Radio.